All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Chakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom salutations to the hopeful elect that's fighting the good fight of faith and truth. In sincerity and wholeheartedly, shalom unto the Akwath, which is the women believers. Shalom unto you, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And it said, thou even yourself shall discontinue from your heritage that I gave you, and I will cause you to serve your enemies in the land which you know is not, for you have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever, which means a very long time. And the Most High was talking, Yahweh was talking to Jeremiah, telling you that even you going to discontinue from your heritage and go into a land that you know is not. And as the scripture says, it's nothing new under the sun. So the Lord was telling Jeremiah this while we was in the Babylonian captivity. So, but in the very, very far future, we was going to discontinue from our heritage, because in the Babylonian captivity, in the Assyrian captivity, the Medes and the Persian captivity, you had a remnant that knew who they were in the Greek captivity. But we went into the Greek captivity knowing who we are. And then eventually down the line, a wicked ruler named Antiochus Epiphanes, he made a decree that you ain't allowed to call yourself an Israelite or do the customs of the Israelite, or you be put to death. So most of our people became Greeks, but you still had a remnant of people who kept the customs. So all these captivities, in the Roman captivity, we were still calling ourselves, we still had something called the circumcision. All right, the ones who kept the customs. So in every captivity, except for the one in America, we knew who we were. So it's talking about us being here. We discontinued from our heritage. And that's why Apostle Paul said in 2 Thessalonians 2:3, there should come a falling away first, then the son of perdition be revealed. So that falling away is us discontinuing from our heritage. When we came here, and then over the time of slavery, we start calling ourselves the bywords and proverbs that the Esau Edom gave unto us. Like black, Negro, African American, colored, Latino, Mexican, Native American Indian, Seminole Indian, So we start calling ourselves by the bywords. And this is why I love the scriptures, because for those who have understanding, it's plain to them. This is why we don't like to debate. This is not for you if you can't get it. And the last curse in the curse chapter, in the first 14 verses of Deuteronomy 28, the first 14, that is the blessing. From 15 to 68, it's the curses. So the last one, and Yahweh shall send you into Egypt again. What is Egypt? What do Egypt represent? Egypt represents the house of bondage. Okay? In layman's terms, today's term, that means captivity, slavery. And if you don't believe me that Egypt means the house of bondage, because Egypt is not a landmass, because the landmass is Ham, the land of Ham in the Hebrew. All right. So-called Africa in the ancient time was called the land of Ham. Egypt just represents the house of bondage. So it said, I am Yahweh, your power, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Okay. So that's what Egypt represents. So if you read it like this, and Yahweh shall bring you into the house of bondage again with ships. Now, there's only been one people who've been, number one, prophesied to go into slavery by the way of ships. And history says that it's only one people that went into slavery by the way of ships. And this applies to the northern and southern kingdom, because when they brought the southern kingdom over here last from the interiors in the west coast and northern part of Africa, okay, to the Americas. But you also had the northern kingdom being taken over to Spain. That's why it's called the transatlantic slave trade. So they was exchanging gifts one another. Slaves for goods, goods for slaves. So you have a lot of Gadites, a lot of Reubenites, a lot of Mexicans over in Spain. And so it says, and Yahweh shall bring you into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto you, you should see it no more again. And that's talking about the wilderness. That's where when we was getting these instructions in the book of Deuteronomy, which is the second book of the law, we was in the wilderness. And there shall you be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Because we ain't even entering into the land yet. But if Moses, you can also look at it from this way. Moses was a prophet. He was able to see into the future. He was actually telling us what we were going to do. That's why he started off with the scripture said, and it shall come to pass, right? So when you read this, obviously this is after 70 AD. Maybe the Lord gave him a vision of 70 AD and everything, So see it no more again, even though it's talking about the wilderness, it also could be talking about our homeland as us being there as a nation. But the reason I'm making this video because to show you that the Lord said that he was going to bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. We started in the eastern hemisphere. Now we are in the western hemisphere. How did we get over here? By the way of ships. Even in 2nd Esdras 13, the 10 tribes came over there on their own by the way of ships. Okay? So that alone, for those who have the ears to hear, that should get basically increase your faith. How about that? Increase your faith. Because everything that's written in this Bible have came to pass or on the way to come to pass. So now, oops. And it says, O Jerusalem, look about you towards the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto you from the Most High. Lo, your sons come, whom you sentest away. See, this is going back to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. How did we get over here on this side of the world? Through ships. You had the 10 tribes who actually did it among themselves. And then you had the Southern Kingdom, which represents the so-called African Americans, the so-called Haitians, the so-called Jamaicans. They was brought over here by force, by ships. Lo, your sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. And how, so since we are a nation that's scattered into all nations, as it say in Deuteronomy 28 and 64, you still have Israelites on the eastern part of the world, because even Western Europe is on the eastern part of the world. Okay? Because you have East Europe, West Europe, but they both still on the eastern hemisphere. So you have brothers in the UK, Italy, Australia, that's in the east, Australia in the east, Eastern Europe, UK, Italy, Western Europe. So we got brothers on the east and the west. And through this word, through the internet, that's how, the Lord woke up, because everybody didn't have access to, walking past the camp. Majority of us, that came across the truth through the internet. And how you think the apostles never been to Italy, Australia, United Kingdom. It's through the internet. So arise, O Jerusalem, and stand on high, and look about towards the east, and behold, your children gathered from the west unto the east by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the remembrance of the Most High. How did it do that? The internet. Psalms 19. That's the internet scripture. But it's more than that. You even got 2 Esdras 6 and 18. All right. Talk about how the books was open under the firmament. And then you have Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 1. Let me see something real quick about Wisdom of Solomon. Let's fact check that. Wisdom reacheth from one end to the other mightily, and sweetly do she order all things. So how did that happen? Through the internet. So the Lord put the spirit on these devils to create the internet for his purpose. See, people always think that, as the scripture says, there be many devices in a man's heart, but the Lord's counsel shall stand. So you can have all the plans that you want, but you're going to do what the Lord wants you to do. Also, according to the internet, Esau, Edom, he used the internet to put tabs on everybody. But the Lord had other things in mind. He made the internet that this word can reach, to the four winds of the earth, to gather his elect. So the Lord, he's the master chess player. And it says, for they departed from you on foot. Because when we led into captivity on foot, and then we got put on a boat or a ship, and were led away of their enemies, but the Most High bringeth them unto you, exalted with glory as children of the kingdom. So we're going to be gathered, and it's going to be a marvelous gathering. Matter of fact, let's read about how we're going to be gathered. So it said, Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children out of Israel, brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Okay. Pharaoh, let my people go. Moses parting the Red Sea. No more talking about that, right? But Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. What are we in today? So-called North America. And you know that it ain't talking about Babylon. Talk about ancient Babylon, Iraq, even though it is northeast of Jerusalem. Matter of fact, Babylon is actually east. Nineveh is northeast, because you got North Iraq and South Iraq, and Babylon is South Iraq. So that's how you know it ain't talking about Babylon. But and from all the lands, see? So let's read it again. But Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands. So even though America is called Babylon the Great, it's different from Babylon, ancient Babylon. And it said from all the lands, right? Yahweh said that. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other, the eastern hemisphere to the western hemisphere. And he's going to come from the east. As lightning that shineth from the east to the west, that's how the Lord going to come. As I say in Matthews 24 and 27. Let's see if I'm right. Yep. For as lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall also of the Son of Man become. Right? So but Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands where he have driven them, and will bring them again unto their land that I gave unto their fathers. So that is the prophecy, man. And to end it on this, you can't deny that this haven't happened. And if you do, you're just a demon and the Lord blocked you. So you have to deal with that on your own, buddy. Since thou was precious in my sight, you has been honorable. and I have loved you. Therefore, I will give men for you and people for your life. So the Lord is going to exchange the wicked for the remnant. Fear not, for I am with you. I will bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. See? I will say to the North America, give up, because this is where the big deliverance is coming from, and also the biggest destruction. And to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth. So you got children all in because from Jerusalem, what is south of Jerusalem? The land of Ham, aka Africa. You have a lot of Israelites there. You have a lot of Israelites in South America, Central America. All right. We're scattered everywhere. So into the south, keep not back, bring my sons from far and my daughters from the end of the earth. See, daughters. So now when you see daughter, that's talking about, Jerusalem. I have likened Zion unto a comely, delicate woman in Jeremiah 6:2. But when you see daughters, plural, that's talking about women. It's going to be a lot of women that's going to be saved, So you women out there, when you hear us preaching, because a lot of women will be put to death because there's way more women on the earth than men. And I wonder why, for you women out there who think a man's supposed to just be with one woman, but y'all gonna come back in your order. But yeah, a lot of women can be put to death, but a lot of women gonna be saved. Otherwise, how would we be able to bring the nation back with everybody having one wife? The Lord said that one is gonna let me see. I think it's Isaiah 60:22. A little one shall become 1,000. So you can't do that with one wife. Only you're going to be a baby factory that's pumping out thousands of children, and that's not the case. And a small one, a strong nation, Yahweh will hasten in his time. So going back, and my daughters from the ends of the earth, even everyone that is called by my name, only Israel is called by his name. For I have created him for my glory. I have formed him. Yeah, I have made him. So the point is that through prophecy, we get understanding. And your eyes have to be open to understand it. And when we read Deuteronomy 28:68, Jeremiah 17:4, they match. These are historical things that you can look up, historical facts. So the Bible is on point, man. And we're not in the convincing business. The Lord told us to preach, and the Lord said that another man watered, another man sowed, but the Lord giveth the increase. So our job is just to tell you the word, and that's it, man. So hopefully this video is edifying, just to show you, how prophecy, the reason that now you see why prophecy is so important, because to be able to go into a book that was written thousands of years before these events happened. Like the book of Deuteronomy was 4,500 years ago. All right. So the Lord prophesied 4,500 years ago that we was going to go into captivity by the way of ships. And then 4,000 years later, we actually, that's power right there. All right. So all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and Shalom.